Assalamualaikum. I am Aniba from Rehan School, Lahore campus. I am student of today we will call any 10 to 15 questions we will ask about time management skills.
Hey there. What's up?
Hi.
Hey. How's your Friday going?
Well, how do you usually plan your day?
Glad to hear. Wait, I totally missed that. You asked how I plan my day. I'm more of a big picture person, so I usually start with a few non negotiables, the things that absolutely have to happen, and then I let the rest of the day breathe. It keeps things from feeling like a rigid cage. How do you handle your planning?
What are the biggest challenges you face in managing your time?
Honestly, the rabbit holes. I can get so caught up in a fascinating detail that I completely lose track of the hour. It's that classic battle between curiosity and the clock. Do you find you're getting sidetracked often?
Do you use any tools or apps to help with time management?
I'm a fan of the basics, a digital calendar for the anchors of my day, and a simple scratch pad for the chaos. Nothing too fancy, just enough to keep the train on the tracks.
What is one management habit you had?
I've always been a big believer in the brain dump, just getting every single tiny thing out of my head and onto a list so I don't
How tasks
clearing the
when
cache for my brain. Do you use it?
how do you prioritize
I'm doing great. Thanks for
tasks?
asking. How's everything on your Depends on what I'm preparing for. Tom, I'm a bit lost. Who's Tom?
How do you balance work and personal life effectively?
I'm a huge fan of hard boundaries. For me, it's about having a clear off switch. Once the workday is done, the laptop shuts and the mental tab closes. It's the only way to actually recharge without feeling like you're still on the clock. Does that feel doable for you?
Have you tried specific techniques like the Pomodoro method? What was your experience?
You mean Pomodoro, right? I've heard it's great for people who need that external pressure to stay focused, but for me, it felt a bit too much like a ticking clock. I prefer a flow state where I can just dive in without an alarm interrupting me every 25 minutes.
How do you deal with procrastination?
I'm not quite following. Could you tell me more about what you mean by proxy suggestion?
Um, what role does setting goals play in your
Take your
time
time.
management?
Goals are like my North Star. They stop me from just being busy and actually make sure I'm moving in the right direction. Without them, I'd probably just spend my whole day organizing my lists instead of actually doing the work.
How do you handle unexpected tasks or interpretation?
I just roll with them. I try not to let them derail the whole day. If it's actually urgent, it slides in. If not, it goes on the scratch pad for later. It's all about protecting that headspace. Do you find unexpected stuff usually throws you off?
Do you think taking break is important for managing time? Why?
Absolutely. It's the only way to keep from hitting a wall. If you just power through, your brain eventually just starts idling and you end up spending an hour on a task that should have taken 20 minutes. A real reset actually makes you faster in the long run.
How do you track your progress on daily or weekly goals?
I think you meant goals, right? I'm not a big fan of complex tracking systems. I usually just look back at my non negotiables at the end of the day and see if they're checked off. If they aren't, I just move them to tomorrow and don't sweat it.
What advice would you give someone who struggles with managing their time?
Start small. The biggest mistake people make is trying to overhaul their entire life in one day. I'd say pick one tiny thing, like a brain dump or one non negotiable goal, and just do that for a week. Once that feels easy, then add something else. The pressure to be perfectly productive is usually the thing that actually stops us from being productive.
What strategies can employees use to meet deadlines effectively?
I thought we were wrapping up, but honestly, the best strategy is usually backward mapping. You start at the deadline and work your way back to today, setting mini deadlines for each stage of the project. It stops the panic from hitting all at once at the very end.
What is different? How can parents manage family responsibilities and work together?
That's a whole different kind of puzzle. It's mostly about accepting that the plan will probably change the second the kids wake up. I've heard that family calendars and designated quiet hours help, but it's usually more about flexibility than a perfect system. Do you have kids of your own?
What is difference between being busy and being productive?
Busy is just noise. Productivity is actually moving the needle. You can spend 8 hours clearing your inbox and feel exhausted, but you haven't actually achieved anything that matters. That's the busy trap.
How can self-discipline help in making better use of time?
It's the muscle that keeps you going when the initial excitement fades. Motivation's great for starting, but discipline is what actually gets the work done when you're just not feeling it. It's about choosing what you want most over what you want right now. Do you think you're more of a motivation driven person or a discipline driven one?
What daily habits can help someone become more organized and punctual?
I'm guessing you meant daily habits, right? I'd say the biggest win is a consistent morning or evening routine, just something small that signals to your brain that it's time to switch gears. For me, that's the brain dump we talked about earlier, clearing the mental clutter before the day even starts. Simple, repeatable steps are what actually stick.
Thanks for giving me questions answered. Okay, thank you. Allah Hafiz.
Anytime. You're very welcome.